It was gone.
Let me just go in the bush and weep. Let me just go in the bush and weep. I just have to go in the bush and weep. Really. I don't understand.
Hello everyone, my name is Gabby and welcome to my second attempt at trying to film this video. As per the title, I am going to be talking about an array of topics that have annoyed me, irritated me, and or pissed me off over the past week, over the past 2 weeks if we want to get technical. I just did not want to sit and film an entire video about some of these things because some of them I'm just over it. Like, I'm sick of talking. Like, I've talked till I'm blue in the face and y'all still don't get it. And some things I only have a few things to add because there isn't anything that I can say that already has not been said. I tried filming this video yesterday, which is where the second attempt comes in. I tried filming yesterday, but the more that I filmed, the angrier I got, and I didn't like I had to stop midway because I'm just like, okay, I don't like how this is. I don't like how this is sounding. I don't like how it's coming out. I was pissed off. I had been pissed off the entire day, and when it came for me to film the video, a lot of that sentiment was spilling out. And although today, I'm still pissed off because it's things that I don't like, things that annoyed me, obviously. But I'm in a better mood. I'm calmer, although my shoulder hurts from going to the gym. I'm not too sure if it's the gym. I could have slept on it wrong, but who knows? I'm calmer. I've listened to my universe multiple times today, so I think that's put me in the mood to talk about these things. We have 8 topics to get through. I'm hoping that this video is going to be less than 30 minutes, but every time I say that, it always ends up being close to 45, and I end up looking like a fool. The first out of these topics, we are going to be speaking about Nikita Dragun. Every time Nikita Dragun pops up on any one of my social media feeds, I shouldn't say any one of my social media feeds because the only thing that I have is Twitter, but every time Nikita pops up in conversation or in discourse, it's not because of her looks. I mean, fashion looks. It's not because of her makeup. It's not because of her brand. It's not because of anything positive. The only time when Nikita pops up in conversation is when she's contributing to some mess online, when she's doing something out of pocket, when she's doing something racist and anti-black. That is the only time that we talk about Nikita, and I guess she keeps doing it because we keep talking about it, but this one irritated me. In order to promote her flop single called DICK, mind you, I searched up the single on Spotify. It's nowhere to be found. I put it in the YouTube search bar. There isn't an official audio either. There's just this 1 minute and 30. They're doing construction at nighttime. I don't know. There's just this 1 minute and 30-second clip of a TikTok music video short, I guess, of some sort of her. It's terrible. It's terrible. You can search it up if you want to on YouTube if you want to see what I'm talking about, but it's just bad. Where it comes into play here, and this is why she just keeps doing these things for outrage, and then we keep talking about it, and I'm talking about it here too, so I'm not any better. But she, in order to promote the single that nobody would have heard otherwise, she decided to take photos of trans women who are past, who are not here to dictate or say the ways in which they want to be portrayed, if they want their images used in the way that she used them. She took the images of these women and plastered the word DICK over their face, and it just gets to a point where enough is enough. And also in the process, she was anti-black and racist towards black women, but that's her specialty at this point. And it's sad for me to say that isn't even, that's not the point of this. That's not why I'm actually upset, but nobody would have cared about your stupid song if you didn't do this. And I just feel like it's so disrespectful and it's so distasteful, especially seeing as these women aren't here to defend themselves. They aren't here to be like, okay, I don't mind this or I mind this. They're past, and some of them have been tragically killed because they are trans. And it's just, what do you gain? I guess she gains people talking about her, but I guess she's going with the all press is good press, but at the end of the day, this is just disgusting. She's a disgusting person. But the kicker is, where there are a lot of reasons to drag Nikita Dragun. She's talentless. And the thing is, people are talentless, but they have done a lot of things while being talentless. She's just extra talentless, because you can be talentless and smart. I think she's very less than smart. She's talentless, she's racist, she's anti-black, her makeup line is a flop, her makeup itself, when she does her makeup, the looks are not there, she can't dress. Some people say that she can dress. I don't think she can dress. There are so many things that you would be within your rights to drag Nikita for. So why does it always have to revert to transphobia? I'm genuinely curious, because at that once you start being transphobic and you start misgendering her, everything that you say before that, you've just negated all of the points that you could possibly make, because once you're just as bad as her once you start doing that shit. And whereas I could have spent this entire portion of this video dragging her for filth, I have to spend time talking about transphobia, because that's what you all do. And it's not just in this instance. You've been waiting to be transphobic. That is who you are, if that is the first critique that you can think of about her, because there's so much. There is so much that you could say. There is so much that you could drag her with, but y'all want to be transphobic. Anyways, we move on to the next topic. Netflix is releasing another Britney Spears documentary called Britney versus Spears, and we're tired. I can only imagine how tired Britney Spears is, because I'm tired. I'm tired of seeing all of it. Because at what point do we just let this woman rest? And I understand the role that media can play when in regards to court cases, although you're supposed to not focus on outside media when discussing things like this. Media is a part of our everyday lives. You are going to be affected by it, regardless of anything, right? At what point do we say, okay, Britney Spears has said that some of the images that you all use when you make these documentaries about her, a lot of it is triggering to her. So at what point do we say, okay, can we let this woman live? Can we just do this? For this Netflix one, the director, I forget her name, she said that she did not use any of the triggering imagery that Britney said that causes her pain, and she doesn't like to see it. She said that she didn't use it for this documentary. They said that they sent her a letter, but at what point does it stop? You have this Free Britney movement was created by her fans. Now it has been turned into a consumer product. Her pain has been used for capitalism, which is par for the course. I mean, that's what's always going to happen under a system like capitalism. But y'all are selling Free Britney merch. That doesn't help her in any way, shape, or form. Y'all are releasing all of these documentaries that won't. She just can't. She can't get any release anywhere that she goes, and it's just turned into a commodity. all of it, and all of it is just annoying. It's just terrible. And next we get into this AOC Met Gala bullshit that caused a stir on social media with the fallout on Twitter. So, if you don't know how you don't know if you're watching this video, but AOC went to the Met Gala and she wore this ugly white dress with Tax the Rich in red bold text on the back of it. Without tax the rich on it, without the ugly red text, the dress is still ugly. The dress is still an ugly dress. But a lot of people were upset with AOC, rightfully so. They have a right to be upset. I hate this thing that has happened with idolizing politicians who are supposed to be doing their jobs, especially people who you have elected to do their jobs. Taxpayer dollars pay your salaries. You are there for a reason. And people often celebrate the bare minimum, and I get it, because on the one hand, the bare minimum is the only thing that we have gotten so far, so it's cause for celebration, but at the end of the day, this is your job. You are supposed to be doing this, right? So I kind of see both sides of the, even though I hate that, I see both sides, but I see, okay? But people were rightfully upset because they're like, AOC, you went to the Met Gala and you are not sitting at the table with these celebrities talking policy, right? So what is going on here? Even though countless celebrities before her have gone to the Met Gala, but when you have her AOC who has a platform and she says the things that she says and she believes the things that she believes in, it comes with extra baggage. So after that, the fallout was basically people saying that AOC makes, from what I could gather, she makes about $175,000 a year, and she's not who they're talking about when they mean tax the rich. We're talking about billionaires like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk and all of these people in the 1%, which I see that, okay? I see that. I hear, for lack of a better term, I hear you, I understand you. $100,000, within the grand scheme of things, $100,000 is not wealth, but we're not going to act like $100,000 is not a lot of money. Pause. I'm going to say something. A lot of people are not going to agree with me. That is fine. If you are making $100,000 a year, you cannot expect people who are making 30, 40, 60K to be in class solidarity with you, even though we're not particularly talking about you with your $100,000 a year when we mean tax the rich. You cannot be mad that people who are making $40,000 a year, who are living below poverty, who are living in a 4-person household below the poverty line, you cannot be upset that they do not want to be in class solidarity with you. Okay? Okay, I hope that didn't come off harsh, but it is what it is. People were on twitter.com talking about their $100,000 salaries and saying how they still have trouble, how they can't pay for certain things, how they can't do this and this and that. And I understand that. Your situation is valid as well. But I feel like instead of being like, I have $100,000 and I can't do this and I can't do this and I can't do this, the conversation would have gone a different way if it was like, oh, we make $100,000 a year. We can't make ends meet. So imagine the people who make $40,000 a year, who make $50,000 a year, even $60K. You can't act like that $40,000 doesn't make a difference. And then y'all are breaking down your salaries and comparing shit here and compare. It was just wrong all across the board. It was just wrong. And then the nastiest thing that I saw, is when y'all were calling people who, oh, you guys want difference, you want to tax the rich, you like whatever. Y'all are just jealous. Y'all are just jealous of people making more money. Okay? The sky is blue. People who make $30,000 to $60,000 a year are jealous of people who make $100,000 a year. Yes. Y'all, like, is this a new concept? I don't know why people were just, oh, you're jealous. You can't make change with jealousy. Of course people are jealous. Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? And this is the thing. Like, y'all will just say these things on Twitter, and I just have to scroll past because I can't start discourse with people who don't know nothing. And I keep saying that people don't know anything, but Not to say that I know everything either, but I tend to do a fair bit of reading before I speak on topics, right? So that at least I have some semblance of knowledge, because I don't want to be talking out of my ass and sounding stupid. But there's just this disconnect. It's just like, no, we're not talking about doctors and lawyers, but doctors and lawyers exploit people too, right? We understand that, right? We're gonna end up talking about the R. Kelly case. R. Kelly is paying his lawyers enormous amounts of money to get him off, to cause a mistrial. I don't know if they're doing such a good job, because they seem pretty incompetent, but it depends on the outcome that they want, because if they want a mistrial, the case, the jury's in deliberation now as I film this video, but if they want a mistrial, then his attorneys are doing their job. You pay attorneys exorbitant amount of money to have them do what you want. There are people who are innocent who cannot afford a good lawyer, and then they end up in prison. R. Kelly also, I've been neck deep in this R. Kelly case. R. Kelly also had a doctor with him who he was paying and offering him concert tickets and doing all of this shit to get medication and do all of these different things. Like, these are all people who exist within capitalism. We all exist within capitalism, but we're not going to act like doctors and lawyers, although with their $100,000 a year, which I do not believe that $100,000 a year is wealth. Don't get me, please, 100K a year isn't wealth, although most people will never see $100,000 a year in their entire lives, right? It isn't wealth when we speak in the grand scope of things, but we're not going to act like it's not a big difference from somebody making $50,000 a year with a 4-person household and $100,000 a year in a 4-person household. We're not gonna lie like that. That's just nasty to me. So there's that, and especially with y'all calling people jealous. Like, what are we even doing? But anyways, on to the next topic. This one kind of, instead of irritating me, it did irritate me. It pissed me off, but I was sad for a while. And here's when we talk about the Haitian migrants at the border. And I wasn't even planning to do this, but we're going to venture off into a quick 5-minute, I'll turn it into 3, a quick 3-minute history lesson. Because I feel like when people speak about Haiti, they don't understand the historical circumstances that have led to where we are. So the TLDR is, and if you're interested, like, go read up more about it, but Haiti is the first and only country to lead the largest slave I am not editing this out. Haiti is the only country to lead the most successful and largest slave revolt in history, started in 1791. I almost said 1917. 1791. They ended up freeing the entire island. If you don't know, the entire island is called Hispaniola, and then you had Saint Domingue, which was colonized by the French, and then Santo Domingo, colonized by Spain, and then the enslaved people on the French Saint Domingue, before they renamed it to Haiti, they abolished slavery on the entire island, both parts. So that happened, and they established the first ever Black Republic in the world. They were not playing any games. They were killing all of the slave masters. They were not having it, and they literally they did what they did, and they established the first Black Republic. You can't be a country on your own. And after after they did that, they ended up being ostracized by everybody because, as I said before, you can't be a country on your own. You need to communicate with other countries, and at the time the only thing that they could communicate with were other European powers, and everybody's looking at you. You cannot communicate with a black republic as European colonizers, because that sets a precedent in and of itself. So they were essentially cast out by everybody else. And then a few years later, when France and America became friends again, they showed up on the shores with tanks, guns, ships, everything that you could think of, and they demanded reparations for lost slaves that they claimed destroyed all of their profit. They extorted Haiti for what would be considered today as $21 billion, which resulted in them having to take out loans from French banks, which they defaulted on. And now we have what we have today. Why I'm so upset and why it's just the people at the border are people, refugees, and people seeking asylum from the 2010 earthquake. And you had Border Patrol whipping people on horses, and then the woman at the press secretary, sorry, the press secretary of the White House had the dignity to say, or some communication had people were saying that, they weren't using whips, they were using the straps of the horses. If you use a horse strap to whip people, it becomes a whip. Who are you trying to fool? And then yesterday they were saying, oh, we're gonna ban horses now, like the horses are the problem. The horses are just sitting down like, what did I do? How did I get in it? See how I ain't even did nothing? Why am I here? So all of that, like, and it's terrible, because you have to help these people. Like, it's your fault. Everything fault. I have to listen. History is history, and if you don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat it. And if you don't know your history, like, you can't take part in these conversations, which is what I think a lot of people are missing when they speak about immigration, because a lot of these places are fucked up because of Europe. What do you expect people to do? You have to help them. It's your fault that they're here in the first place. Anyways, so that is my spiel. Everybody should be ashamed of themselves. Those images were horrific. Anyways, the next topic that we're gonna speak about, we're not even on the Nicki Minaj topic, because we're gonna talk about her next. But when Nicki said that her friend or her cousin's friend, whoever the friend was, when he said that his balls were swollen because of the vaccine, I believed it. Not because of the vaccine being the thing that I can't even finish my sentence. Not because I believe that the vaccine did anything, but that is such a typical story of a Caribbean man who's been cheating on his to-be wife, and he caught an STD. And in order to not own up to anything, like, I have swollen balls because because of that. That is such a Caribbean man thing to say. I'm sorry, that it is what it is, but you would expect people, like, and not me, but I think people expected somebody like Nicki Minaj to be responsible within that aspect. But I do think when she said that there are a lot of celebrities who are anxious, or celebrities who are anti-vax, I believed her, because y'all don't be knowing anything. Y'all don't read. Which is another reason as to why I think that celebrities, when y'all expect celebrities to speak out on certain issues, I don't, most of the time, like, I expect celebrities to donate. That's it, because these people don't read, these people don't know what they're talking about, and they are not activists. We'll leave that there, but this topic, or this point, is about to be about anti-vaxxers, because I have given up. If you've watched, like, I made this one video when the Delta variant was running rampant about people having concerts and festivals during that time. And in most of my videos, when the topic isn't even about vaccinations or vaccines or anything to do with COVID-19, I'm usually always saying go get your vaccine. If you're anywhere where vaccines are available to you, you should get vaccinated. I've been saying that since the dawn of time. But at this very moment, I'm tired. And I think that I'm just going to have to let it go, because I can't care about people more than they care about themselves. That is I just can't, I can't do it. I really can't, because I don't know what to say. I really, really don't know what to say at this point when it comes to anti-vaxxers, because what research have you been doing for the past 18 months? The kicker of this is that if you Google what is in the vaccine, it literally tells you on the first thing that you click, it'll tell you exactly what is in the vaccine. What's in the vaccine is mRNA. Y'all don't know what mRNA is, and proteins, lipids, salts, protein stabilizers, all just that is what is in the vaccine. So every time people say we need to do research, what research have you been doing? Because they've been talking about this vaccine for 18 months. 18 months. If I ask you what's the difference between an mRNA vaccine and a traditional vaccine, you're not going to be able to answer me. If I ask you what a spike protein is, you're not going to be able to answer me. If I ask you what the endoplasmic reticulum is, you're not going to be able to answer me. If I ask you, like, I'm going to be speaking gibberish to you, because nobody knows what they're talking about. And they're, oh, we should support people doing research. We should support people doing research. If you did your fucking research, you would be out the door getting your vaccine. If you did your research, the first links that you clicked on Google, which just shows you numbers and statistics and doctors telling you to go get it, you would go book your appointment within the next 15 minutes, you would be vaccinated. So I don't know. Y'all are anti-vaxxers. Y'all are not doing any research. Y'all don't understand what's going on. And I just I can't do it anymore. Like, I'm always going to encourage people to get vaccinated, but y'all, I've been calling one of my aunts. Yes, my mom, dad, sister, they're all vaccinated. Because my parents were vaccinated before me because they had access. But I have anti-vaxxers in my family. Like, I just can't. Been calling one of my aunts every 2 to 3 business days for months on end. Have you gotten your vaccine? Have you gotten your vaccine? Have you gotten your vaccine? Like, we live on an island that is a tourist-based economy. People are coming in and out. That is how we make money. Have you gotten your vaccine? And I met with WhatsApp videos with doctors who have lost their license 30 years ago that you would have known about if you took 5 minutes to Google. And that is the WhatsApp videos that I'm being sent. And I just cannot. I genuinely, like, and people don't deserve to die, but I'm at my wit's end. I really can't. I can't care about you more than you care about you, and that's where we're just going to have to leave it at. Last year or 2 years ago, y'all were on Vanessa Hudgens' head. Y'all were talking ill about her. Y'all were saying all kinds of stuff when she sat down and she said, well, people are gonna die. Which is, like, sad, but, like, inevitable. Y'all were saying all kinds of stuff about this woman. Now look how the turns have tabled, because that's how a lot of you are acting. Well, some people are gonna die. Some people are gonna die. And we want herd immunity. We want all of that, but I just cannot, like, we are 2 years deep. It's about to be December in, like, 3 months. We've been here before. If you haven't gotten the memo now, nothing I can say at this point. Like, I'm tired. I am so freaking tired. And this comes at the helm, like, Jin was on, BTS were on Good Morning America, and they were talking, and Jin just put it so eloquently, and he's like, I know people are hesitant, but we need to get the vaccine, and da-da-da, and I sympathize that people are better person than me, better person than I could ever be, because I I don't want you to die. Doctors don't want you to die. You're on a respirator and you want help. I'm sorry, boo, but you should have gotten your vaccine. The next two topics, I am going to be talking about Nicki Minaj and the R. Kelly case. These topics are going to include, it's not going to be graphic, but there are going to be mentions of various acts of sexual assault. So if that is a trigger for anybody, I will put like a timestamp when I get to the last topic. But let's get on Miss Nicki Minaj. Anybody who is supporting Nicki Minaj, supporting the Barbs, all of you are going to hell. Nicki Minaj, her husband, and the Barbs who support her, you are all going to hell, because it's like we're living in a twilight zone. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say it with my chest because I haven't seen anybody say it. But regardless of anything that's going on, Nicki Minaj married and knowingly had a baby with a rapist. I'm going to say that again. Nicki Minaj knowingly married a rapist and had a baby with him. Case over. Like, there's nothing else to add to that conversation. I don't know why y'all are arguing. I don't know what y'all are... If anybody... So, what additional layer sparked all of the controversy and sparked all of the outrage? So, Jennifer Huff went on The Real, and she spoke about Nicki Minaj's husband and when he raped her when they were both 16 in 1994, and some of the harassment that she has had to face because of them, because he has to register as a sex offender and he didn't do it, and now he faces 10 years in jail. A whole mess. So first of all, he was convicted of attempted rape, not rape, because somebody forced her to change her story. And not even change her story, because she said it herself. She did an interview with The Real. She never said that he never did it. She just asked them to drop the charges. But he was still charged with attempted rape, and then he spent 4 years in prison. So he was never actually convicted for the act of rape. He was convicted for attempted rape. And here is the thing. Everybody who is saying, what she said she didn't want notoriety, she didn't want it to be public, why is she saying it now, why is she saying it now, why is she saying what? First of all, she can talk about this for the next 50 years if she wants to. It's her story. It's what she wants. She can change. She has the right to change her mind. I don't think the same way that I did 5 hours ago. Everybody has the right to change their mind, and that is her story. And she was speaking on The View, and not The View, The Real, and she was saying that there have been threats to cause her bodily harm. And had it been me, let me tell y'all something. There are 650 of y'all at the time of me filming this video. I'm very appreciative, by the way. 650 of y'all. And if there is an inkling, if I catch wind of anybody anywhere trying to put a price on my head, I will be making videos, I will be making tweets. I don't even use Twitter like that. I will be using every resource available to me in order to let people know where I am, what I'm doing, who said what, when they said it, because even if I got, I will leave a paper trail for people to find me. So I don't even know why y'all are saying that. And if you've been following this case, and she said the exact same thing that she's been saying ever since she's been speaking, people are saying, oh, there are inconsistencies. I watched a 30-minute video of somebody say, oh, these are inconsistencies, and I'm just like, no, they're not. All of this can be explained away, but I don't feel like it. I don't feel like explaining anything to anybody at this point in time, except with exceptions to this video because I want to, but it's just all a lot. And Nicki Minaj been weird for a very long time. I'm sorry. Nobody wants to say it, but the rhymes aren't that good and the beats aren't that hot for her to get away with the things that she has been able to get away with. In 2015, Nicki Minaj's brother was convicted Trigger warning. Nicki Minaj's brother was convicted for raping an 11-year-old little girl while he was 37 years old over the course of 8 months. And Nicki was up and down Instagram saying, oh my gosh, my brother, I love you this, I love you that, paying his bail, doing all kinds of shit. Number one. Number two, after Rainbow Man got out of jail, and this is another, not a moot point, but something that's always irritated me. Everybody was upset about this man for quote unquote telling, snitching or whatever. Everybody was so upset about that, but this man pled guilty to filming sexual acts with a 13-year-old when he was 18. Nobody cared about that. Nobody cared about that, that these people are literally hurting children. No one cared about that. Everybody was preoccupied with him telling, but okay. Yeah, he was convicted. And his friend also raped a 13-year-old. And he was in the video. They were performing sexual acts with a 13-year-old while he was 18. And the first person who hops on his track after he gets out of prison is Miss Nicki Minaj. And now with her husband, because on Twitter they were saying, oh, he did this to this woman. Nicki responded after trying to imply that the woman is a white woman, trying to play a very sick and twisted, actually, trying to play on the history of white women and black men and that entire dynamic, trying to play with that. She lied. The woman is... Jennifer is not a white woman. But Nicki responded with, she was 16, he was 15, and they were in a relationship. That's a lie. They were both 16. And are we saying that if you're in a relationship, you cannot be raped by your partner? It would be quite stupid of her to say that, but I'm just going to say it. The woman is stupid. Oh my gosh. Like, it's all just very stupid. And once again, at the end of the day, if there are any barbs watching this, at the end, disregard everything else. At the end of the day, Nicki Minaj married a known rapist. That is what happened. And given her track record, she does not care about people who hurt children, as with her brother and Rainbow Man. So where do we go from here? Because as I said before, the beats aren't that good. The rhymes are not good enough. Nothing is good enough to justify this kind of behavior. And the more you people support it and the more you people, I just can't. I don't understand. I don't know. I don't know. See, I don't know. I look at these situations and I'm just like, I don't know, the things that y'all say, the things that you guys use to defend her, the things that you people say, I just have to sit back and I just have to think, but nothing I can think of can justify this sort of behavior. And then you have people saying, oh, he did his time. Oh, he's changed. People can change. I do believe that people can change. I think that people can change from most things, but in my opinion, and is this going to be a hot take? I hope not. In my opinion, once a rapist, always a rapist. I'm sorry. Like, you could have burned down a building. You could have done armed robbery. You could have done so many other things where I might still side eye you, but I can be like, okay, you've changed. You're a better person. You've bettered your life. But once you're a rapist forever. Because it takes a different kind of sick and twisted person to inflict that kind of trauma on somebody else, and that is just going to be you. That is you as a person for the rest of your life. So fuck Miss Minaj, fuck the barbs that support her. I have nothing for you all. I have nothing for any of you. That woman married a rapist. Case closed, case open, and closed. Now we get to the next nasty topic on the list. This R. Kelly case, this madness. I have been knee deep, neck deep actually, in court documents, 55-page court documents, reports. I have watched probably 100 hours worth of YouTube videos. I should be doing something way more productive with my time, but I just can't look away. I can't look away at this situation because everybody knew. There's this underlying tone of everybody knew, and this man was just hurting young women. Sorry, I can't see hurting children, because now he was abusing young girls and he was abusing young boys. I cannot look away just because there were so many moving parts and so many adults that could have stepped in to do something. So many adults that did not care about the lives of these children. Failure everywhere. Just failure everywhere for these young black kids. I don't understand, and I haven't been the first one to say it, but if R. Kelly was out here raping little white girls, oh my God. The outrage. As you should, as you should, but nobody cares when it's little black kids that this man is doing things to. And R. Kelly supporters are the fucking worst. And this is going to sound so crude, and I can see the ageism comments writing themselves. I can see all of that. But when it comes to most of y'all, he don't want you. You're too old. You are too old. The man does not want you. So what the fuck are y'all doing? What are you doing? I'm getting mean again. I'm going to pull it back. Because the things that he were doing, they are trying to get him on RICO charges, racketeering, because they are trying to prove that he was running a criminal enterprise, because he was issuing money, giving people money, paying people to do things for him. He had other people go get underage girls for him at his concerts. He had Aaliyah is a big topic in this case, and I feel for her, because I looked it up the other day, because I couldn't remember at what age she passed, but she was 22 when she passed, and I'm 23, and I haven't even began to live my life yet. She was a baby. She was a literal baby, and her life was taken away from her because apparently when they got married, he and his manager, ex-manager, whoever the fuck, Dimitri something, they forged IDs so that they could say that she was 18 when she was 15 because she was pregnant. There was proof that she was pregnant. R. Kelly was 27. He had a relationship with this girl, and everybody knew, and nobody stepped in to say anything, because that's all that I've been looking at for the past 2 weeks, and it's all just nasty behavior. It's all nasty behavior, and people's heads need to be on spikes. Like, it's just a lot. It was just a lot. So I just wanted to add one thing before I moved on to the next topic, because I forgot to mention it while I was recording because I was just speaking off the cuff. But one other thing that annoyed me this entire week was the way that some people are speaking about the Gabby Petito situation, the young woman whose remains were found while the police let her boyfriend, the police essentially gave her boyfriend or fiance or whatever the fuck he is, gave him the room to escape and flee. Now they can't find him, and they have now found her remains. And here is the thing: if you have never in your life posted about missing Black girls, then please shut the fuck up, because now is not the time for you to get your political statements off. It is not the time for you to get your views off, because a family is mourning. A family is mourning their daughter who was by all intents and purposes, like, he had something to do with her murder, because you don't just go somewhere with somebody and come back in their car and don't want to say where they are, and you don't want to cooperate with the police, and you don't want to do anything. He did something to that girl. Now is not the time to bring up, what about black girl? When you have never spoken about this in your entire life. Like, this is not the time. Please respect this girl and her family. Her family is mourning, and y'all don't care. You don't care. You don't care about missing black girls. You don't care about anybody. You just want to seem some kind of way on the internet. And I promise you, nobody's looking at you like that. So just please, just stop it. Just stop it. That is all that I have to say. And now we get to the last topic. The last topic is kind of lighthearted, but it's still a problem. And it's the concept of men written by women. If you are not familiar with this concept, it's just, it kind of speaks for itself, but there's more to it. So men written by women are men written by women in pieces of fiction, most likely books, movies, TV. And these men are usually not sexist, allies to the LGBTQ plus community. What else? They're not racist. They're just a whole bunch of nots. They're allies to a bunch of groups, and they don't exhibit any phobias or transphobia, homophobia. This is what people say when they reference men written by women. I have a lot of issues with this concept. The first being is that it negates all of the trash ass characters that women write all of the time, and then it's a subtle way also of just boxing women into this one category, because women can write toxic male characters too. But more than that, what happens is that most of these men written in these books that a lot of people say, oh, men written by women, a lot of them are white. A lot of them are white, and then these white men are ascribed these characteristics of being non-violent, anti-racist, non-sexist. Do you see the problem? Do you see where I'm going? Third point, you guys take all of these characteristics and the ways that in which men are an idealized version, to be honest, of how women want to be treated by men. You extrapolate this and then you put it onto men who exist in real life. Can you see the bigger issues here? Can you see the bigger issues here? Because men like that don't exist. Like, men inherently, they live within the patriarchy, and there's a lot of things that come with that. But you extrapolate it onto real life men, and these men might be amazing. I don't know. But when you say men written by women, you're talking about, or people usually want to talk about Harry Styles. He's the first one that comes to mind, because they like talking about Harry Styles. Harry Styles, Timothy Chalamet, sometimes you'll see Shawn Mendes, sometimes you'll see Tom Holland. And now that you have taken this fictional thing and ascribed it to actual living, breathing people, that becomes a problem. That becomes a deep-rooted problem. And now that these white men represent people who are caring and men who are kind, you have the antithesis. I've been talking for way too long. You have the antithesis of that, which would mean men of color, black men, Asian men, Hispanic men. All of this just comes back full circle, because you need a contrast. If you're gonna have men written by women here, you need a contrast, and that usually falls on men of color, who are then gonna be portrayed as violent and racist and homophobic and all of these different things. So can we please stop it? Can we please nip it in the bud? And those are all of the things that I had to talk about that annoyed me this week. There's a lot that, as you can see, there's a lot that annoys me on any given day, but these were the ones that were just, okay, y'all are just pushing it. And yeah, what can I leave you with today? Listen to My Universe by BTS and Coldplay if you have not. It's a really good song. Also, Alessia Cara came out with her new album called In the Meantime. It is actually brilliant. And now came out with their new album, which is entitled And Then Life Was Beautiful. I haven't finished that one yet, but I made it halfway through, and it is really good as well. I hope to see you in the next one. I will leave my Linktree link below as to where you can find me, and I will see you soon. Bye.